Hey Chopsticks, and welcome to another video. Today I will be talking about my journey through and with K-pop. This is a video that I've wanted to make for a while, but I really haven't brought myself to sit down and make it. But you know what? Here we are today, and let's just get right on into it. Basically, I think the best place to start with this story is with the person who got me into K-pop himself, my brother. My brother, who's 8 years older than me, came across the genre of Japanese rock music, which led him to slightly looking into Japanese pop, which led him to the Japanese version of Run Devil Run by Girls' Generation. Girls' Generation ended up, still to this day, his favorite K-pop group, and I don't think that will ever change. And let me tell you, this man would marry Tiffany if he could, but I mean, who wouldn't want to? Let's be realistic. But yes, this all happened around 2012 and 2013, which means I was between 7 and 8 years old. Me being me, I looked up to my brother a lot, even though we didn't exactly have the most healthy sister-brother relationship. I ended up getting into the genre myself. Now, there was a few months where I definitely just listened to the music without really understanding the genre or anything, or the fandoms, and you must think about how young I was at this time too. It's not like I had all the access to the internet or anything. But later, I would say early 2013 was when I came across the music video for Tonight by Big Bang, which I count Big Bang as the first group that I ever stained, being the fact that they were the first group that I personally really got into, not my brother, and the first fandom that I really got into and that type of stuff. And still to this day, they are one of my top 10 groups, and I don't think that will ever change. No matter where any of the members are in life, I love that group to death, and they are the reason why I ended up truly falling into the hole that is K-pop. This also led me to groups like FX and SHINee and all those type of groups, just the end of that generation basically. Which leads us to a few months later, towards the end of the year in October of 2013, on the 13th of the month, which is Park Jimin's birthday, was the day that I managed to come across BTS. And this is the reason why actually Jimin has a very special place in my heart, being the fact it was the day. It was his first birthday debuted under the group, and yeah, if that makes any sense. And honestly, it's such an honor to be in ARMY for that long as an international fan, because there are not many, and that's for sure. I am very proud of that fact, and I think it's definitely something to live for. And yeah, that is truly how I just ended up as a huge K-pop fan, and I slowly just started staining more and more groups. And at this point, I'm honestly a fan of way too many groups to count. I actually tried to make a list a few days ago of just groups in general that I listen to, not just stain, and it's like 5 miles long at this point, and I don't think any of you want to sit and listen to that, so we're gonna kind of move on to how K-pop has affected my life. Which, yeah. But basically, think about the time period of 2012 and 2013. This is when Psy took over the world with his Gangnam Style, and that's what people thought of when they thought K-pop. Now they think of like BTS and that type of thing, which is a lot less brutal to the minds, I guess you could say. I really don't know how to describe that. But basically, from the moment that one person found out that I liked K-pop in school while I was in elementary school, that is when I started experiencing a major amount of bullying, and that carried out throughout middle school. It simply started because I admitted to one person that I liked K-pop. And honestly, I really didn't even know who Psy was at that point. Now I look up to him like he's a god because you know what? P Nation for the win. But it's truly how that kind of started happening. It honestly was the cause of my bullying, which is kind of really sad to think about, but it wasn't that continued it. It was other things. I was in a very toxic community growing up, I guess, and that was the start of my story in that toxic community. And yeah, it went so far as I ended up in a very toxic group friendship that I ended up completely leaving in 6th grade. And in 7th grade, when I went back to school, it was like a horror story, and I do not like talking about it. But in October, I ended up leaving, and I went into online school for 2 years, almost 2 years. And that is when I went into a very bad mental state. I was to the point of suicide. And I guess, yeah, this is weird to talk about. But the one thing that did get me through it was honestly music and K-pop in general, because through that tough time, music became like my medicine. I actually can't go the day without having my earbuds on me and listening to music. It's actually the only reason I get through going to actual public school now, because I am so like anxiety ridden when it comes to a school environment. If I have my earphones in and I'm just in my own world, I can get through it, but if not, it's a scary sight. um but that's the thing is, as a fan, I genuinely actually get to say that the genre has literally saved my life, and more than once at that factor. And I could go in more in depth with that, but that's a little bit too personal for me, so I'm just not going to. But I also wanted to talk about how, this channel is very obviously K-pop based. It's all the content on it. And on January 25th of 2018 was when I made my first upload to my channel. This is not up anymore. It's privated because it's an old story that I never finished. But that was when I first started this channel, or started uploading on it. And that was actually the year that I ended up leaving school, and I was in that really bad mental state. And the channel, along with K-pop, just as music, really helped me come out of that really bad place eventually towards going into 2019, I would say. It's when I started actually really expressing my love for the genre online to my family and everything. And that's just when it made the biggest effect in my life. I really can't go a day without listening to the music or watching videos, because it's what makes my day. It's what makes me happy. It makes me want to keep going. And even though I am in a much better mental state now, and it's a lot easier to get through my day than it used to be, just the entire everyone inside the K-pop community makes me like so much happier, and honestly so much of a better person than I was originally. All my online friends I definitely cherish the most. Also, the going in back into public school, mainly just because of my very large assortment of K-pop graphic t-shirts. I managed to make quite a few K-pop fans as friends that are truly there for me and are much more real friends than I've ever had, and I'm living in a much better community than I was, which also makes a huge effect on that. I just, you know, the genre means so much to me, and certain groups mean so many different things to me. They taught me so many different things. And yeah, I want to say more, but I don't really know what to say, honestly. it's been a very long and tough road, and as a 16-year-old who gets the chance to say that she's been a K-pop fan for the majority of her life, it's kind of insane, and I am so proud of the fact that I can say that I'm a K-pop fan and that I support them, that I buy their albums, that I do this and that to help support them in different ways, and because they help support me, they help keep me sane, and I don't know where I would be. I don't know whether I would be 6 feet under now or not if it wasn't for my brother, who I literally hated during the time period, who got me into the music genre, which, by the way, we've made up by now. We are very close, and now we bicker about K-pop all the time together. It's a real fun time. And I'm actually getting the chance to show the genre to my younger sisters now, and that's what makes me really happy. My one little sister was having a little bit of a mental breakdown the other day, which can't blame her. I do it way too much as well. But I literally put on a bunch of BTS music, put my phone under her ear, and she stopped crying in less than 10 minutes. And that just honestly shows the power of BTS and the genre in general, and how much it can mean to a person who barely even knows anything about it, because she definitely doesn't. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I really thought I would come up with more to say, but I really don't have anything else to say, honestly. If you have any questions about my journey, or whether I stay in certain groups or this or that, or I really don't care. If you have any questions about K-pop and me, you can leave them down in the comments and I'll make sure to answer them. And yeah, I guess I'm bringing this video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a rant, and I'm sorry that it's more of a rant rather than story time, I guess, but I at least wanted somewhat of this out there and on my channel in particular, because I just do, and I think that you guys, as my subscribers, should know about it. Should know that I've had a really hard time, and the fact that the genre has honestly saved my life. And I'm very proud to say that. Either way, I love you guys, and I hope to see you guys in another video. Hope you guys are having a good day, and make sure to stay safe. Bye.